Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Flash, episode 319, titled The Once and Future Flash, which premiered Tuesday, April 25th, 2017 on the CW, guys. I am recording on April 29th. So, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, go do so first, then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen right now. Take a moment to remind yourselves of that, since it's been about 3 weeks since we've had any new episodes. But with all that being said, guys, let's start with the 10-minute clock, and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, this immediately continues off where episode 318 had ended off, where Killer Frost is attacking Cisco, Julian, and HR, and also Barry had just told Iris that he plans to travel to the future to get some answers. So the episode reminder, though, is the fact that we get to see 2024, with the villain being Mirror Master and the Top from the year 2024. Now, episode breakdown for the is really just the one storyline, and that is Barry's trip to the future, and dated February 3rd, 2024. Now we see Mirror Master and the Top once again. We see them a lot more powerful, and with their powers having progressed for as long as it has, from the looks of it. Also, we see the current West Allen apartment now abandoned in the future, and this is where Barry sees a future Cisco who is greeted with hugs and just being amazed that he sees the old Barry there and everything. Plus, we find out the Killer Frost froze off Cisco's hands during a fight, and this is what turned Cisco powerless, because without hands, he says that he can't do his vibes anymore. We see Killer Frost in a prison with Julian being her personal attendant, and she knows who Savitar is. So there's that. We also see catatonic Wally, who has a spinal fracture because of Savitar, so he can't walk anymore. He's not a speedster anymore. And it all happened after Savitar had killed Iris. We also see Joe visiting Iris's grave and learning that Barry had abandoned Joe. Joe had lost Iris to Savitar. He lost Wally to Savitar because confronting him turned Wally catatonic, and then Barry just abandoned Joe after everything because of Iris's death. So there's that. Now, future Barry reveals that he did the plan with the time remnants going after Savitar, but it doesn't work. Everything he tried didn't work, and it resulted in Iris's death. The only good thing about the future, from the looks of it, is HR being an accomplished author. He's definitely getting a lot of love from the fans, so there's that. But we do see the future Flash team reunited once again, with the future Flash returning to the streets to help out our present day Barry, who needs help in having something delivered so that he could withstand the effects that Mirror Master and the Top were performing on him. But before Barry leaves to go back to his original time, we get future Barry giving him research on how he had trapped Savitar, which was first solved by a lady named Tracy Brand in 2020. So 4 years ago is when Barry had the opportunity to stop Savitar, but unfortunately that was 3 years after Iris was killed. So there's that. Now, last moments of the episode showed Savitar finding Killer Frost, and Savitar actually unmasking himself to Killer Frost and gaining her trust through this move of his, because she asked him, well, why should I trust you? And by showing who the man under the armor is, it apparently did the trick. But we as the audience don't see who it is. We got to see how he gets out of the Savitar armor, but we don't see who he actually is. So that's a mystery to us still as the audience, but Killer Frost is aware of who the Speed God is. So there's that. So most shocking moment of the episode, guys, I think for me, it has to be the fact that future Barry never knew the identity of Savitar. I was surprised by that. I thought by the time that future Barry trapped Savitar into the Speed Force, I thought at least by then he knew who the identity of Savitar was. But to find out that no, he didn't know, that was very surprising in itself. So while Barry didn't really get what he came to the future for, he did get the research. So at least there's kind of a trade-off there, I guess. So, but I think that was what really surprised me, was the fact that future Barry didn't know. So there's that. Moving on, though, to top 3 favorite moments. I have to say, first one definitely is going to the future and seeing the future Flash team it was just, despite how separated they all are, it was great to see this version of their characters, and to see just where the timeline could take them if they continue on the current path that they're taking. It was also fantastic to see two Barrys facing off against each other, and then also working together with each other. So it was great to see that. It was also great to see the present day Barry interacting with the future Cisco, and just that type of dynamic, and how we see Cisco reminiscing over the fact that this is the Barry I remember, this is the Barry that I looked up to, who wanted me to strive to be a hero type thing. It was just great to see that dynamic as well, though, too, since every other dynamic was kind of torn because of the actions of future Barry. So there's that. Another favorite of mine was the Double Flash Showdown. We got both the past and the future Barrys going against Mirror Master and the Top. It was great to see the two of them working together. It was also great to see their different skill sets, or getting to see what a future Barry could strive to be, and also with his new suit and everything. Me and Cisco referenced the fact that your suit is circa 2017, so it's like there's a huge changes and stuff between the suits. But it was just great to actually see it instead of it being talked about, and it was just great to see what present Barry can achieve later on down the line, which is what we saw with future Barry. So there's that. I only had the two favorites because a lot of it was just around the fact that we were in the future. We got to see different versions of our characters, and the fact that we got to see Double Live Barry. So it was kind of like a sneak peek of what the show could be like in future years if they went down. I always like it when any show goes into the future to show us just a little sneak peek of what it could be. I mean, Supernatural did this in season 5 with episode 402 or 504, and then Charm did it back in season 2. I think it was episode 3 or 4. We got the Vampire Diaries doing it in season 6, episode 17, I think, one of them. But like, it was just great to see that little of a flash forward type thing. So there's that. Moving on to the top 3 peeve moments, I only have the one. It was the fact that Savitar was unmasked off screen. I mean, just seeing the look on Killer Frost's face when Savitar was unmasked to her, it was like a huge tease for us as the audience, because then it's like, oh, come on. It's like so close. If you tilt the camera angle a little bit more, it's just, I was a little peeved that we as the audience didn't get to know who Savitar actually is. So there's that. What will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The fact that we got to go to the future, 2024. I mean, it's kind of been dangling in our faces since we saw the future article in season 1. So it's just great to finally see 2024. But it does have me wondering, is this still the same version of 2024 that the article originally referenced to? Probably not, since Iris was originally the one with the byline for that article. But it has me wondering whether the reasons why this Barry of the future was not seen in a while is the same reasons why Iris's article about it for his disappearance. So there's that. Which would lead me to random questions now. First one was really random, really, and it's, why does HR save his drumsticks? I mean, when HR in the present got separated from them for a moment, he rushes back to go grab them. And then we also see in the future when HR is looking through the lab and says, like, well, now we can begin, now that we have the drumsticks. Like, is there anything particularly special about them? Are they drumsticks he brought from Earth 19? Because as we know, he had that pen that was a recorder or something like that. I mean, like, what is so significant about him and those drumsticks? So there's one question right there. Another question is, so if the 2024 article about the Flash disappearing that we saw in season 1, is that because he became a hermit after Iris's death, like we saw in this version of 2024, or was it another reason that he disappeared in the season 1 article with Iris as the byline, or was him becoming a hermit because of a death always the backstory behind the headline? I'm confused. I'm sorry if I confused you there, but I hope you get my gist about that question. So there's that. Last question. Have we really lost Caitlin to Killer Frost? I really hope not, because then it would be super fantastic if we get Caitlin back, but then she does know who Savitar is because of the fact that she was inside Killer Frost, if that makes sense. So there's that. So moving on, though, to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 320, it looks like Barry confronts Savitar about his identity, and it looks like Barry has come to the conclusion of who it is that's under the Savitar armor. So there's that. But based off the synopsis, though, for the episode, it reads that Barry and the team meet Tracy Brand, a scientist who may be the key to stopping Savitar. Unfortunately, Killer Frost is also after Tracy, so Team Flash must battle their old friend, which proves to be particularly difficult for Cisco. Joe and Cecile's relationship takes a big turn. Here's the timer for that. So with that synopsis read and said, and let's go to the questions that come from that. So in this episode, though, we saw a very quick flashback, and it looked like there was the fight between Cisco and Killer Frost, which resulted in Cisco losing his hands. That fight could be the fight that we're building up to in 320. So that means this is the episode where Cisco loses his hands and has his powers taken away for it, or they find a way to stop that from happening, therefore altering the version of the future that Barry had just visited. So there's something right there. Also, I'm going to address this now because next episode is supposed to be when we're supposed to get the identity of Savitar, theoretically. But I've been seeing on the internet and everything and YouTube and stuff that everyone has been predicting that it's a version of Barry that is Savitar. But that possibility has me really confused on how that could work, because if that's true, then Savitar as Barry messing with his past self would affect his current self, which is Savitar. So I don't really get how it could be Barry, unless it's a version of a time remnant that's able to keep himself from not being altered by punishing himself or something like that, because that makes no sense. The future version of yourself can't interact with the past version, otherwise you're going to change the future version of yourself that you currently are. I hope that makes sense. But pretty much, so everyone's saying it's Barry. Everyone's assuming it's Barry. I mean, it makes sense with the accusations that Barry states to Savitar in the promo, but I'm thinking it's not. So if it's not Barry, then it has to be a corrupt version of someone close to the Flash team, since they're able to know their strengths, their weaknesses, and really what makes them tick. So, yeah. I'm going to be very surprised if it's Barry, because then as Savitar, or future Barry as Savitar, because then that's really going to confuse me. But then I'm still going to be surprised if it is also someone else that is close to the Flash team. But then I hope it's not an obvious someone, since that's going to be cliche to the fact that Dr. Wells turned out to be Erebor Thong, and then Jay Garrick turned out to be Zoom. So there is that, and that's all I'm going to say to guys. So what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, predictions about what you think is going to happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff. All found in one place, so go check it out there, and follow me if you want everything in one place. It's also connected to my WordPress account, which connects to everything that I post online. It's a work in progress, but it's a little more organized, so I hope you give that a shot. But that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next time to hear what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.